Live video, take 2. You guys see me this time? Sorry about that. That's what I get for trusting Apple technology. Oh. Okay, so if you guys are watching this in the replay, I am currently in Amsterdam and I am attending the VidCon conference. This is for people who are into YouTube and who like to make YouTube videos. So the connection is pretty bad here, might be a little fuzzy. So I'm making very fast video to give some advice for people who are here for the first time at these kind of conferences. So if you have any questions unrelated to traveling to conferences, then please hold them for a future video. Be very happy to talk language learning in general Q&A videos. Right now, I'm talking about traveling to conferences. This may be relevant if you're going to a Polyglot conference, Polyglot gathering later this year. But otherwise, I just tweeted to bring some people over for people attending the VidCon conference. And look, we got loads of people here. We got Shannon from Eurolinguist. Hi, Shannon. And there's not any polyglots at VidCon Amsterdam that I'm aware of. So yeah, I've got loads of great people here. I know what I'm going to say this time, so I'm going to jump straight in case anyone is here in Amsterdam wants to check this out. Be happy to take questions at the end. And we have Holly with us today as our moderator, so she'll be jumping in whenever she can help out. Okay, so if you're attending a conference, you want to meet some people, you want to learn about the thing the conference is about. In this case, it's going to be making YouTube videos, which I have a tiny bit of experience with. The first thing you want to do is follow the hashtag. So every conference has a hashtag, which is on Twitter. You'll see it on Instagram. You can click those, also on Facebook, and even here on YouTube. I put it in the title just in case. So if you follow that, especially on Twitter, since it tends to come along more actively, you will be able to see what's happening, what people are sharing, what they're doing. You can reply to that and try to make a friend, because that's why we go to the events like this, is to meet with people and to see what we can, how we can network, what we can learn from them. For meeting people at the Polyglot conference, I'm going through a few of those so that you'll see what tips I can give are relevant to that. Okay, so follow the hashtag, see what people are saying, reply. Always reply, interact with them, okay? So, tip number 2 I would give for anyone attending any conference, especially one like this one this weekend, is to not be a self-promoter. You do not want to be walking up to groups of people, especially people who maybe you admire, who have a lot of followers, and be like, hi, nice to meet you. My name is this, I do this, and I'm amazing because of this. I've been at a lot of conferences. I go to conferences for entrepreneurs, I go to conferences for travelers, I go to conferences for YouTubers, and whenever I meet people like that, or business card ninjas who are like just swiping out all their business cards to everybody, you can tell they're not genuine. You don't really want to get to know them. And at events like this, you want to make real connections with people that you can get to know a little bit later, a little bit better, and maybe do some kind of collaborations with. So try to ask more questions and do less talking and get to know those people. And that's way more effective. Okay, next is to be proactive. So once again, before we even talk about approaching people, like physically getting to know, not physically getting to know them in the physical realm, if that makes any sense. I'm not making any sense, am I? Anyway, back on track. Before you get to that, the best thing to do is digitally get to know somebody, and that would be by checking out their YouTube videos, checking out their online accounts on Twitter, and seeing what they've been saying, and like what are they interested in, and watch a couple of their videos, maybe see some, write some comments, and like see what they're doing that you like, and maybe you'll see, if you don't know who you want to meet up with, just find people who come up in the hashtag and see what kind of videos they're sharing and watch a couple of them. You might see somebody very, very interesting, and then you can reach out and try to say, hey, do you want to grab lunch or something? And you'd be surprised how effective that is. Okay. What else have I got for you? So big issue you have at events like this is FOMO, fear of missing out. You don't want to worry too much about this. There's always going to be some group of people who go off in this direction, some group of people off in this direction. Like at the polyglot events, I remember there was like the hyper polyglot meetup, which I couldn't go to because I think you have to speak like 12 or more languages at high levels. And I've got like 8 languages at high levels. So I was like way below the threshold. And it's just, that's what they're there for. They're there because that's what they have in common. So worrying about that was unnecessary. So you don't worry about that. You try to see who can you find connections with. So here at VidCon, I specifically, I don't try to see, oh, I'm going to connect with Hank Green because he's a big YouTuber. He's going to be very busy. He runs this event. So instead of thinking, like setting my sights far too high in terms of people I'm going to meet and network with, I think, well, I have a lot in common with educational YouTube channels. So I've actually been very effectively meeting the education YouTubers who tend to have more or less the same number of subscribers that I might have. And it's been amazing. I've learned a lot from them about how to get these messages across to people and to like maybe see if I can do some kind of collaborations with them. And just making friends and like chatting about the industry together. It's a lot of fun. So see who you can get that little connection with at polyglot events, especially the specific languages you might be interested in or the level that you're currently at. So things that you have in common, find those people and gravitate towards them. Because if you try to network with the person with the most followers or something, then they're going to get inundated. This is not a good opportunity to do that. Maybe you'll do that in another time and place. Try to meet up with people who you know you can connect with on the same level. All right? And on that note, I would also say to try to make friends with people who have like the same number of subscribers as you if you do make YouTube videos, and the same kind of level of the language that you have if you're there to learn languages, because that makes it a lot easier. When I'm learning languages, actually as a beginner, I find I can learn a lot from other people who are also starting off in the language, and I learned loads of my Spanish with the Erasmus students in Spain, who were French and Italian and German and Brazilian. And then the same applies for language levels at these kind of conferences. At my previous VidCons, rather than think I'm going to network with people who have 10 million YouTube subscribers, I actually try to go for the same kind of range that I have. So I've got like 60,000. I say, okay, like 10,000 to maybe 200,000. And those people are much easier for me to network with, and they understand the same kind of level of busyness. So I get a lot more bang for my buck by kind of trying to stay within my own circles, as it were. Okay. What else can I say? Last couple of things. So if you're shy, if you have trouble approaching people and getting to know them at these events, you're not necessarily going to like put yourself out there. What you can do, a couple of things you can do. For languages, I would wear a t-shirt that actually says, speak to me in this language. And I walk around Ireland sometimes with a t-shirt that says, Laura Gael Galum, which says, speak Irish to me. And that's very effective. But otherwise, just like make a sign. Just walk around with a giant sign that says, I'm shy and come collab with me. I have an Irish accent, some kind of a funny little quirk that inspires them to come up and talk to you. There's always ways. So just try to be inventive, imaginative. If you feel you're not confident enough to approach people, I've made other videos where I try to instill confidence, get people to get past that. But if you still are at that stage, then find ways to invite people to come to you by having something interesting on your person that suggests that. Okay? And finally, I would say fake it till you make it. There are lots of things at these events that might seem a little out of reach, but if you are just confident, you'd be surprised. So, for instance, I was just saying on Periscope that another conference that I've been to is the Star Trek convention. I actually learned some Klingon ahead of that. And the actors from the Next Generation were there. And now I am a huge Next Generation fan, so it would have been very embarrassing if I had shown them how enthusiastic I was. Because like Brent Spinner, who plays Data, he was there, and I could have been like, "Oh my God, you're Brent Spinner! I can't believe it!" But instead, I walked up and I just said, "Hey, I loved what you said on stage." I just had a conversation with them, and keeping it relaxed, even though inside I was actually genuinely, I'm meeting my childhood hero. I can't believe it. But playing it cool on the outside, you know. So that was my fake it till you make it, and that kind of shows that you are just a person. There are people too at these events. You don't want to idolize people too much. Just talk to them like they're normal, and you don't have to always talk about the same things. Like at polyglot events, people are welcome to talk language learning with me, but if that's the only thing they'll talk about, it's not as interesting. Sometimes I like to mix it up, and I like to get to know them as a person beyond the reason we happen to be there, and then maybe that'll help us make a better connection for the future. Yeah, so those are just some quick conference tips that I wanted to give you guys. I'll stick around for another minute or two if you have any questions at all. So shoot, and if you're coming over from the VidCon Europe hashtag, then make sure to click subscribe. And I usually make videos about language learning. And otherwise, come say hi to me. I would be very happy to talk to people at this event. I'll also be at the Polyglot Gathering in just over a month and a half, I think. And so I'll be seeing some of the language learners at that. So yeah, I think I can see all your comments here, and I want to make sure I didn't miss any. No? Okay, we just had some people asking like general questions that I can save for the next time I do a general Q&A. So I'll keep this short and sweet, I think. Thank you, everybody. I hope some of this information is useful. Don't know if I'll be at the event in Iceland yet, but I can confirm that in a few months. I don't generally plan my travels that far out in advance. And hello, Diana. Great to see you again. But yeah, otherwise, everyone subscribe, and I will hopefully have a video out ready for you guys to watch tomorrow. All right? Have a good night if you're in Europe, good morning if you're in Australia or whatever, and a good afternoon if you're elsewhere in the Americas or stuff. Because I'm in Amsterdam. Amsterdam! Yay! Thank you. I'll have fun at the VidCon Europe YouTube conference. Yes! Happy language learning, everybody.